We're going to use our data analytics platform to do exactly what it does best, which is to show an ROI on an investment. But let's go through a couple of different scenarios on how you might determine if an investment is worth it. And we're going to start with $20,000 in 1 year. That's basically going to be the starting point. And we're really going to look at three types of investments. One is where you're decreasing costs. You're expecting the investment to decrease your costs. The second is where the investment is going to increase your revenues. And the third is if it's going to increase the valuation of your company. The first one, a decrease in cost, is pretty straightforward. Let's say you're going to spend $20,000 in a forklift and you're hoping to reduce labor by at least $20,000. If in fact at the end of the year your labor is reduced by that amount, then you've made a good investment. And if you can continue to use that forklift for more than 1 year, you've made an excellent investment. The second is, does it increase your revenues? And that kind of example might be if you're going to invest $20,000 in going to a trade show. So you need to figure out, well, how much additional revenue would I have to produce to justify that $20,000 investment? And basically what you're doing is you're taking the expense and dividing it by your gross income, and that gives you the amount of revenue you need to increase as a result of the trade show. In this case, it's $40,000. Now comes the data analytics part, which is we're going to evaluate whether the investment is going to create enough valuation in the company over the course of a year to justify it. And this gets more complex. We're basically looking at what the value is in year 0, which is today, versus the value in year 1. And we're multiplying, to get a valuation, we're multiplying the net income number after the investment times the multiplier, the market multiplier. We took a series of different multipliers from a company called Empire Flippers, and we came up with 32 times net is kind of the industry average. And we're going to assume a net income of 10%. So let's walk you through the math here. Just joking. We're going to walk over through the analytics platform, and I'll show you exactly how this becomes very obvious in just 1 second. And just to prove the power of data analytics, rather than go through all those spreadsheets, which is how these calculations were made, we're just going to show you graphically. This is 14 different companies by revenue, the largest being $30 million, and the smallest on the far right is a $1.5 million revenue company. These are all e-retailers, and the orange horizontal line is the multipliers that we pulled right off the Empire Flippers website. You can see they vary a bit. They get much more varied when they're smaller companies. What we really want to do is look at a $20,000 investment and how much improvement in net income does it require to break even on that $20,000 investment. You can see at 1% the break even is about $20 million in revenue. At 5% your break even drops all the way down to $9 million, actually $8 million in revenue. You'll see a net improvement in your valuation if you can improve your net income by 3%. At 5%, that revenue threshold is closer to $5 million, which is one of the reasons why HighBeam Analytics suggests that if you're over $5 million and we can find 5% improvement in your net income, this is a tremendously good investment. And the home run obviously is when we improve the net income by beyond 5%. And that drops the revenue threshold all the way down to $1.5 million. So if we can see a 10% improvement in your net income as a result of using data analytics at a $20,000 platform investment, you see a net increase. So if you're interested in looking to see how data analytics might improve your bottom line and valuation, just give us a call.